fabled heat, where magic meets desire. Subscribe to ignite the fantasy.
The scent of coppery blood and damp stones slammed into me the moment I pushed through the rusted iron gates of the Temple of Whispers. Moonlight, cold as a lover's sigh, sliced through the broken dome, painting the flagstones with skeletal shadows that seemed to reach for my skin. My heart hammered against my ribs, a frantic bird trapped in a cage of bone. I am Eris, a huntress forged in fire, and Lysandra is the only name that steadies the storm raging inside me. The thought of her ignites a heat that battles the icy dread coiling around my spine. Love and terror twist together like the roots of the ancient oaks that once guarded this place. I move silently, my leather boots whispering against the stone. A faint hum of residual magic crackles in the air, like static before a storm, and I know it is her magic, once bright as sunrise on summer grass, now sour and sharp as broken glass, laced with a keening sorrow that makes my own pulse falter. My hand slides to the silver dagger hidden beneath my tunic. The cool metal steadies me, a grounding point against the rising tide of panic. Fresh blood mingles with the cloying sweetness of decay, the lingering perfume of sacrifices whispered about in the village. 3 souls taken from the whispering woods, all at Lysandra's command. I pause at the threshold of the inner sanctum, the air growing thicker, as if the walls themselves were breathing. The faint echo of a distant chant drifts through the vaulted ceiling, a mournful hymn that seems to pull at the very fibers of my being. I remember the first time I saw Lysandra in the market square, her laughter spilling like sunlight over the cobblestones, and I wonder how that bright spirit became a shadowed wraith. My mind flickers back to the night we first met. I had been tracking a wounded stag through the forest, its breath ragged, its eyes pleading. Lysandra appeared from the mist, her hands glowing with a soft blue light as she healed the creature. She turned to me with eyes that held the depth of 1,000 stars, and in that instant I felt a pull stronger than any arrow I had ever loosed. "You have a gift," I had whispered, half in awe, half in envy. "And you have a fire that could melt the coldest night," she had replied, her smile a promise. Since then we had chased each other through battles and festivals, through whispered secrets and shouted vows. Yet now, standing in this desecrated shrine, I feel the weight of every promise we ever made. I step forward, the stone beneath my feet slick with old blood. The faint glow of chalk and dried crimson forms a circle in the center of the sanctum, each line pulsing with a faint violet light. Tall candles, black as obsidian, flicker with a malevolent flame that seems to drink the moonlight rather than reflect it. And there she stands, Lysandra, a vision of shattered beauty. Her hair, once the color of sunrise, now hangs in tangled ash-gray strands. Her skin is cracked like shattered glass, veins pulsing with a violet glow that throbs in time with the ritual's chant. She clutches an obsidian dagger, its edge humming with a promise of death. Her eyes, sunken yet fierce, lock onto mine, and a wave of longing crashes over me, hot and urgent. "Eris," she breathes, her voice a trembling silk, "the ritual demands a sacrifice, my life or yours." The words are a blade that cuts deeper than any steel. I feel the heat of her skin brush against my own as I close the distance. My fingertips trace the line of her jaw, feeling the tremor of fear beneath the surface. "I will not let you die," I whisper, my voice low, thick with desire. "If the magic wants a sacrifice, let it take the darkness instead." She shivers, and for a heartbeat I see the woman I fell in love with, not the hollowed husk the ritual has tried to forge. "You think love can defy a god's will?" she asks, a bitter edge to her tone. I smile, a fierce, defiant curve of my lips. "Love is the only thing that has ever broken the chains of the old gods." The chant swells, a chorus of unseen voices rising in a crescendo that rattles the very stones. I can feel the power of the ritual pressing against my chest, a tide of dark energy seeking a vessel. My mind races. I recall the ancient texts I stole from the High Librarian, the verses that spoke of a counter spell woven from the blood of 2 willing hearts. The ritual required a single life, but perhaps the magic could be twisted if 2 souls offered themselves together. I draw the silver dagger, its blade catching the faint moonlight that filters through the cracked dome. I plunge it into the altar's heart, the metal ringing like a bell of defiance. The violet glow flares, the chant falters, and the shadows recoil. Lysandra's eyes widen, a spark of hope igniting within them. She steps toward me, her movements hesitant, as if testing whether the ground will still hold her. Eris, she whispers, you risk everything. Everything is already risked, I reply, my breath hot against her ear, but I would rather risk the world than lose you. She reaches out, her fingers brushing the scarred skin of my forearm. The contact sends a jolt of warmth through my veins, a reminder that we are still alive, still capable of feeling. The temple shudders, stones grinding as the ritual collapses. A wave of heat washes over us, the air thick with the scent of singed incense and the sweet, metallic tang of our intertwined blood. I pull her close, feeling the heat of her body against mine, the tremor of her breath sinking with my own. We survived, she murmurs, her lips brushing my ear, the words a promise and a promise fulfilled. I smile, the darkness receding behind us, and whisper back, together we will rewrite the stars. The temple begins to crumble, ancient columns cracking, dust swirling like a storm of ash. I grab Lysandra's hand, our fingers interlaced, and we sprint toward the broken doorway, the moonlight guiding our path. Outside, the night air is crisp, the stars scattered across the sky like scattered diamonds. The wind carries the distant howl of wolves, a reminder that the world beyond the temple still breathes, still lives. We stand on the threshold, the ruined temple behind us a silhouette against the night. I can still feel the lingering hum of magic, now a faint echo, like a song that will not fully fade. Lysandra turns to me, her eyes no longer clouded with sorrow but bright with resolve. What now? She asks, her voice steadier than it has been in weeks. I look out over the valley, the moon casting silver ribbons across the river that winds like a serpent through the land. Now we heal, I say. We find the wounded, we mend the broken, and we make sure no one else has to choose between love and sacrifice. She nods, and I feel a surge of hope that lifts the weight from my shoulders. The path ahead is uncertain, the world still scarred by the old god's cruelty, but we have each other. We walk side by side, our steps echoing on the stone road, the night wrapping around us like a cloak. The village lights flicker in the distance, a reminder of the lives we left behind and the promises we must keep. As we approach the outskirts, a figure emerges from the shadows, a cloaked messenger bearing the seal of the High Council. Eris Lysandra, the messenger says, bowing low, the council has heard of your deeds. The darkness that plagued the temple has been quelled, but the realm still suffers. We request your aid in restoring balance. I glance at Lysandra, her hand still warm in mine. We will go, she replies, her voice firm, together. The messenger smiles, relief evident in his eyes. Then let us ride at dawn, the sunrise will be our witness. We spend the night beneath a canopy of ancient trees, the stars overhead a silent audience to our whispered vows. I lay my head against the bark of a gnarled oak, feeling its pulse sync with my own heart. Lysandra curls up beside me, her breath steady, her presence a balm to the lingering ache of the temple's collapse. Do you ever wonder, she asks softly, if we could have lived a life without curses, without rituals? I turn to her, tracing the line of her cheek with a thumb. Every day, I admit, but I also know that every trial we face makes our love stronger. The darkness we endured forged a fire that cannot be extinguished. She smiles, a faint curve that lights up the darkness around us. Then let us keep that fire alive, she whispers, pressing a kiss to my forehead. The night deepens, the wind rustling the leaves, and I feel a profound gratitude for the path that led me here, through forests, battles, and heartbreak, to this moment of quiet triumph. When dawn finally breaks, the sky blushes with hues of gold and rose. We rise, our bodies still tinged with the remnants of the night's battle, but our spirits unbroken. The council's banners flutter in the morning breeze as we approach the stone courtyard. The High Council members, robed in colors of the elements, await us with solemn faces. Your bravery has saved many, the council leader intones, his voice resonant, but the work is not done. The ancient seals that bind the old gods are weakening. We need you to travel to the four corners of the realm to rekindle the seals with the blood of love and sacrifice. Lysandra and I exchange a glance, the unspoken understanding passing between us like a current. We will go, I answer, feeling the weight of destiny settle upon my shoulders. The council hands us a map etched with runes, each point marked with a sigil representing a different element: earth, fire, water, air. The journey will be perilous, but the thought of facing it together fills me with a fierce optimism. We set out that very day, the road winding through valleys shrouded in mist, over mountains that scrape the clouds, and across rivers that roar like ancient beasts. Along the way, we encounter villages ravaged by lingering curses, people whose eyes are hollow from loss. In each place we offer our aid. I hunt for food, my arrows finding the hearts of beasts that threaten the harvest. Lysandra weaves her magic, mending broken homes, coaxing life back into wilted fields. Together we become a legend whispered in taverns, a pair of warriors bound by love and purpose. One night we camp beneath a canopy of fireflies. The crackling fire casts dancing shadows on our faces. "Do you ever miss the quiet moments we had before all this?" Lysandra asks, her voice barely above the whisper of the wind. I stare into the flames, the orange glow reflecting in my eyes. "I miss the mornings when we would sit by the river and watch the sunrise together," I reply. "But I also cherish the nights like this, where we can still find peace amidst the chaos." She reaches out, her hand finding mine, fingers interlacing. "We will have many more mornings," she says, a promise etched in the night air. Our journey takes us to the heart of the earth, a cavern deep beneath a mountain where the ground trembles with ancient power. The seal there is cracked, a fissure of darkness oozing like tar. Lysandra steps forward, her violet veins pulsing brighter as she channels her magic. I stand beside her, my silver dagger raised, the blade humming with the same energy that once resonated in the temple. We each draw a drop of our blood, letting it fall onto the fissure. The darkness recoils, the violet light intertwining with the earth's amber glow, sealing the wound. A rumble echoes through the cavern and the stone walls glow with renewed vigor. The seal is restored. We repeat the ritual at the flame of the west, the oceans whisper in the south, and the skies echo in the east. Each time, the magic of our love, our willingness to give everything for each other, strengthens the seals, pushing back the old god's influence. When the final seal is sealed, the world seems to exhale. The sky clears, stars shine brighter, and a gentle warmth spreads across the land. We return to the village where our story began, the market square bustling with life. Children run past, laughing, while elders trade stories of the brave huntress and the sorceress who saved them. Lysandra takes my hand, her eyes reflecting the lanterns that line the streets. "We have done it," she says, her voice filled with awe. I pull her close, feeling the familiar rhythm of her heartbeat against my chest. "We have," I reply, "and we will continue to protect this world together." The night deepens and the moon rises high, its silver light bathing us in a soft, forgiving glow. Our love, forged in fire and shadow, burns brighter than any curse could ever dim. As we walk hand in hand through the bustling streets, I think back to the moment I first stepped through the rusted gates of the Temple of Whispers. The fear, the uncertainty, the promise of sacrifice, all of it feels like a distant echo now. But the echo is not a memory of loss. It is a reminder of how far we have come, how love can turn the darkest night into a dawn of endless possibilities. And as the city lights flicker like fireflies around us, I know that no matter what darkness may rise again, we will face it side by side, our hearts beating as one, our souls intertwined like the roots of the ancient oaks that once guarded the temple. Together we will rewrite the stars.